In a world of seemingly endless podcasts comes what many would call another one. Welcome to the Two Men podcast with your hosts Tim Matson and Phil Powell. Now please join these two confirmed men, that's two moderately entertaining nerds, as they take you on another podcast adventure that's guaranteed to be funny. Or not. This week the two men get grim with some fairy tales.
And we're starting.
It's begun.
Welcome to another episode of the Two Men podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
And I'm the other one, Phil. We kind of tripped over each other.
Yeah.
We tripped over each other.
We're normally so graceful and
you know what?
Elegant.
I've noticed that when we start podcasts, your cats don't like it.
Well, you know, it's that abrupt, like, vociferousness, that loud voice.
They don't like it.
They're not into that now.
No, it's like, what happened, Dad? You suddenly got energy or something.
Mad.
Dad's mad. What am I doing? I'm just laying here. So this week, what we're clearing my throat there. So this week, what we're going to talk about?
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
Both.
Okay. This week, in keeping with the Halloween theme, we're going to talk about some scary fairy tales.
Scary fairy tales.
Right.
Grim.
They're very grim, yeah.
Fairy tales. Did anybody else write fairy tales? There were the Brothers Grimm.
Right. Yeah.
Did they have the whole franchise? Did they have a monopoly on fairy tales?
I think they're probably the best known. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else that wrote fairy tales, really. Hans Christian Andersen, maybe, but...
Oh, that's right. He wrote he wrote some stuff. So if Hans Christian Andersen, that's a long name.
It is a little bit. A lot of syllables.
It's at Thanksgiving, that would have been, so Hans Christian Andersen, what are you doing this thing? You know, it's like, that's pretty formal. Hans Christian Andersen.
Probably just called him Hans.
Yeah, Hans. Hans, what are you writing? Oh, Little Match Girl.
Did he write The Little Match Girl?
I think he did.
Okay.
Which always freaked me out.
It is one of the most tragic Christmas stories ever made.
Yeah.
It is really horrible.
It's not very cheerful.
No, it's not. It's horrifying.
It's kind of a Halloween thing. Really, it is.
I mean,
it's
could
like
be.
Got ghosts and
dead people.
Yeah, dead people. Yeah, so.
And a little girl that freezes to death. So there's that.
You know, and just to make it clear, at Two Men Podcast, we are, just because we're laughing does not mean we are pro children freezing to death.
No.
We're con it.
No,
we're con it.
I'm conning
We
that.
don't like it.
Mm-mm.
But we will tell our children, although I don't have any, but I'll tell my cats the tale of the little match girl and her little...
My kids do not like that story.
They don't like it?
They don't like it at all.
Why not?
Well, it's depressing. It's incredibly depressing.
So what do they like?
What do they not like?
What did they prefer as children?
Oh, see, we're on the wrong holiday. They liked A Christmas Carol as a Christmas story. And Little Match Girl is not much of a Christmas story.
No, it's not.
It's pretty depressing.
All right, so let's talk about grim fairy tales.
Right.
We're talking about grim fairy tales. I say Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, that's pretty grim because someone gets pushed into an oven.
Right.
That's not so happy. So yeah,
I don't like it. That fairy tale got on my bad side from the get-go because I pronounced it Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel
and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel. And then I had to be corrected.
Hansel.
It's Hansel and Gretel. I'm like, what? And none of the rest of the fairy tale is said like that. Why do we say Hansel and Gretel? It sounded like Hogan's Heroes to me.
What?
Hogan's Heroes. It sounded like Schultz was saying it.
Oh, okay.
You know, Hansel and Gretel. You know. So that fairy tale is hard to say. So you can't just say Hansel and Gretel and get away with it. You got to say Hansel and Gretel.
I'm okay with saying Hansel and Gretel.
What's the story about? You tell me. Let's see if we have it right.
Oh, I probably don't have it right at all. I know there are these two kids. Why did they go into the woods? They went into the woods for some reason.
Food?
Maybe. Well, no, it can't
or
be
did
food
the-
because they had bread and he leaves breadcrumbs, a trail of breadcrumbs, to get out of the forest.
Maybe he was wasteful and a polluter.
Maybe.
You know, you're polluting the forest with breadcrumbs.
Well, it's biodegradable, so it's fine. And on top of that, the birds ate the bread, and that's why they can't find their way back.
Right, that's part of it. Oh, it's like, they didn't anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the anti-Snow White, where all the woodland animals, elephants, woodland elephants.
Like woodland elves?
The woodland elves, yes.
Lord of the Rings, different episode.
Yeah,
We're not doing that.
Well, the animals all came to Snow White's aid, and with this, the birds ate the breadcrumbs, so they weren't much help.
Snow White was a pretty girl lost in the forest.
Sure.
You had 7 lonely dwarves. What else are they going to do? You know, and they're going to come to her aid. I think so. And the bunnies and the robins and the ferrets and everything else.
But what about the 2 little kids? I mean, don't they deserve some aid?
Apparently they disobeyed their parents. Probably went off in the forest. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that part of the story?
I don't know that that's true. I know that they were going to the forest for some reason. I don't remember why. It seemed like it was bad reason, like they were being punished or something.
Was there a kegger in the forest?
They were looking for a kegger. Actually, Hansel was looking for a guy to buy a little something from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they found this house that was made out of gingerbread.
Right.
Candy or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that part of it?
Yeah.
But there's no crossover with the gingerbread man.
No.
So see, now you can tell they didn't have comic books back in those days because the
epic crossover.
That would have been a crossover between the
yeah.
gingerbread man and Hansel and Gretel.
Right. So they started eating this house.
Mm-hmm.
And then
a witch came out.
Did she?
Or she invited him in?
Something like that.
Because it was pleasant. It was pleasant at first, right? The witch was pleasant. She was pleasant, and she said, like, hey,
this is where it gets a little hazy.
Hey, children. No, wait a minute. Are we confusing this with Little Red Robin?
What? Little Red Robin? I think you're meaning Little Red Riding Hood?
Or Little Red Robin.
Who is Little Red Robin?
It's a restaurant that was shortly lived.
Oh, my gosh.
No, not really. Yeah, Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Her. The blonde one with the wolf.
Right. The big bad wolf.
Right.
Is that a Grimm's tale as well?
Probably.
Let's say it is.
It's forest-themed.
It is forest-themed.
There's violence.
Mm-hmm. There's menace to children.
There's children. But don't they end the same? Here's the weird part.
They don't end the same because in Hansel and Gretel, the witch gets pushed into the oven.
But by the dad, or does Hansel do that?
No, the kids do that.
So the moral...
The kids trick the witch into checking the oven or doing something with the oven. They push her in the oven.
So a woman...
Because she's keeping the kids to fatten them up before she cooks them.
Oh, so that's why she wants them to eat the candy.
Right.
Okay,
to get fat so she can cook them.
That seems like an awful lot of work to build a house out of candy.
That does seem like a lot of work, yeah.
Because if you think maintaining a yard is hard, maintaining a house of candy...
Plus, I'm sure the building codes were a real bitch.
Oh, my God. It's like, did you make this foundation out of milk chocolate? Oh, well, that's not going to do. That's got to be dark chocolate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Otherwise, there's going to be subsidence.
You're going to have a lot of chocolate termites in here. Yeah, you can't have that.
Chocolate termites.
Yeah, no.
But Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf eats the grandma and her, and then a woodsman cuts the wolf open with an axe, and they come out.
So
of the
didn't
wolf.
Hansel and Gretel didn't their mom and dad save him? So they saved themselves.
See, I don't know. I don't know how the things ends. There's some mystery here. I don't know why they're going to the forest. I'm not sure that they were the ones that pushed the witch in, and I'm also not sure what happens to them afterwards.
I think we do know, though, that the birds conspired. The birds conspired against them.
Well, I mean, I don't know about conspiring. It's perfectly natural for a bird to eat abandoned breadcrumbs. So,
all right. So let's say that the birds were neutral. They were not.
Yeah.
They were not.
Yeah, they were neutral.
But the children were fooled. The children were foolish because they went into the woods and they got lost. So that's negligence.
And breadcrumbs as a way to get out of the force is not a great plan.
Right. He did not graduate high.
No, he was not Mensa.
In fairy tale school.
No.
What's the moral of that story?
I think that greed is bad because they were being gluttonous by eating the witch's house.
I would say that cannibalism is bad.
Well, that is clearly bad, yes.
Because the woman was a witch, and she was going to eat the children,
right?
And she died.
She did die, yes.
Yes. So it was a warning.
Cannibalism is bad.
It was a warning to cannibals. It's just like, hey, you're going to get shoved in the oven because you're. Although that does make the witch seem a bit gullible. You know, it's like, hey, look deeper in the oven.
The bad guys have to be a little bit gullible.
And then they cooked her. Now, the question is, did they eat her?
I don't think that's ever said.
That's one of those mysteries.
It's a mystery, yeah.
They just left her in there.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that would be a bad thing. I mean, you're not supposed to leave the oven on when you leave a house, so I'm sure that house probably burned down.
Right, a house candy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For years and years and years, Hansel and Gretel, when their grandkids would walk by this place and go, there used to be a house of candy here.
Oh, man.
And there was a witch, and yeah, Hansel, I'm sure there was. No, really? Yeah, it was a fairy tale.
All right, so name another fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm.
I don't know that I can name one.
That's...
But
I'd like to point out that this was your idea for this episode, and you can only name one fairy tale.
I thought that you would have more of an encyclopedic knowledge.
I do have a slightly deeper knowledge than you, but that's like saying a ditch has a deeper amount of water than a puddle.
Oh, all right.
I mean, it's really not very deep.
I'm going to show you up here I'm going to expand the topic.
Uh-huh.
Because this goes with October. Tragic nursery rhymes. So, okay, so
now we're doing Mother Goose?
We can do Mother Goose, but I was going to bring up Jack and Jill.
Okay.
All right. Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Okay. Went up a hill to what is it?
Fetch a pail of water.
Yeah. Jack went down.
No, he fell down.
He fell down?
Yeah.
He didn't go down.
No, he fell down.
He fell down.
Right. Go down. That's the adult version.
Oh, okay.
That you're thinking of.
Jack fell down.
Jack fell down, yes.
And broke his crown.
Right. What he was doing wearing a crown, I don't know.
And Jill came tumbling after?
Right.
I mean, it seems innocent enough to me.
It does.
They were going up a hill to fetch a pail of water.
Right.
You need water.
Water is life.
Are you holding your mic?
I am. I'm being cool. I'm reclining with my microphone.
He's breaking the rules. Did you hurt your back or something? There's no good reason for you to hold your mic. Making me nervous.
Other than I want to be cool. Look, I can do this.
If I take a picture of you, we post this on Facebook. Trust me,
cool.
No one will say it's cool.
No, that's goes without saying.
If you wanted to say that was exercise, then
it's probably the most exercise I'll do today.
If you're doing reps with the mic, then okay.
We're sweating it out here at the Two Men podcast.
Jack and Jill. Why do you think that tale was told to children?
I think maybe it was told to encourage safety. Maybe. I don't know. Safety on hills.
Safety on hills.
Yeah. Don't fall down the hill. That seems fairly straightforward. I don't want to fall down the hill. I don't need a nursery rhyme to tell me not to fall down this hill and break my replica
Well, why
crown.
is it that the boy died, but it's ambiguous as to whether or not Jill survived?
Wait, hold the phone. The boy died?
Well, he broke his crown.
Okay.
I assume that means his head.
Oh, that's his head.
So you say I don't know things, and I'm like, crown is head.
Okay, well.
Crown is head.
Okay, sure. I
mean,
guess so, yeah. I never really thought about it.
He wasn't royalty. He wasn't going up there with his crown.
I guess not. I guess when I was a kid, I always thought that they were like kids playing dress up, so he had a fake crown on or something. I don't know. That's the way I always thought of it.
I interpreted it as Jack busted his head wide open like a melon, and Jill, screaming, also in a panic, fell down, probably bruised herself severely, and was chastised for allowing her brother to fall down the hill without looking. That's the prose version.
Okay. Two things.
Yeah.
One, that's really dark.
Yeah, it is.
And two, you're assuming they're siblings.
You're right. They could be
Neighbors,
acquaintances,
friends, playmates.
Well, it's true. It's true. I always assumed that they were brother and sister.
See, that's what you assumed. I assumed he was wearing a crown. I think that mine is just as valid as interpretation as yours.
Jack and Jill. Can we name any other nursery rhymes? So Mother Hubbard, right?
Right.
Lived in a cupboard.
Lived in a cupboard.
Yeah. Poor Mother Hubbard.
I don't know the rest of that one. How does it go?
When the Hubbard lived in a Hubbard?
No.
What? And
no. She didn't live in a cupboard. She went to her cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. Yeah, okay.
And something beside
You're thinking of the old lady that lived in a shoe.
See? The old lady who lived in the shoe and old Mother Hubbard. But see, I was also going to put in, and isn't that the part where the spider comes along? But that's something else.
What? What spider?
What's the one with the spider?
Little Miss Muffet.
Okay, so let's do Little Miss Muffet. Let's analyze Little Miss Muffet.
I like that all of these just kind of occupy the same story for you. Like it's one giant world filled with these people all having their stories told simultaneously.
Right. Jill.
That's pretty amazing.
Jack and Jill fall down. There's a spider.
Mm-hmm.
There's a woman that
lives in the cupboard.
That runs out of her cupboard.
Yeah.
And her dog grabs
So maybe Mother
Jill's
Hubbard
bone, or Jack's bone,
Okay.
because he's dead.
Sure.
Grabs his bone, uses it. She's hungry. She's a sister to the witch who's a cannibal, which is bad. See, I'm connecting this. This is all storytelling.
Connecting the dots. Right.
That's all storytelling.
Okay. I would have said that maybe old Mother Hubbard was their mother.
All right.
Yeah.
Old Mother Hubbard, yeah.
See, it's implied in the name.
But that's ageist. Old Mother Hubbard.
I think it's an accurate statement. She's probably old.
She was probably in her 50s. That's all I'm saying.
In the days that this was written, that was pretty old.
That's true.
Because you're going to die by the time you're 40. And to be 50, you're pretty aged.
Oh, it saddens me so much that you... I mean, I'm glad that I'm younger than you.
I think that is not true.
I'm glad that I'm younger than you, but it saddens me so much to know that you are older and that you are approaching death sooner. It saddens me.
I don't appreciate this heresy. This is not true.
Tell me about the spider aspect. So that's Halloween-y.
It is Halloween-y, yeah, sure.
Let's say it. Little Miss Muffet. Muffet? Is it Muffet?
Yeah, Muffet.
Okay.
Sat on her tuffet.
Eating her curds and whey.
That sounds awful.
I don't know what those are.
I don't know, but it doesn't sound appetizing. I've never really thought that curds and whey sound really tasty.
Would that be W-H-E-Y?
I'm assuming.
Or is it, but if it was eating her W-A-Y, that would be weird. And eating her whey.
That would be very Lewis Carroll.
Yes. Along comes the spider and sits down beside her.
Right. Frightens Miss Muffet away.
And that's it? That's the whole thing?
I think that's it. I mean, that's what more do you want out of a story?
I think that what we're learning is that medieval parents didn't have a lot of time to tell their children
It's pretty brief.
to tell their children
Now go to bed.
That's right. All right. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her crutch away. Long came a spider sat beside her and scared Miss Muffet away. Go to bed. That's basically it.
Turn out the light and go to bed.
So all these things are like 20 seconds. That was your story.
They're pretty brief, yeah.
Don't disobey me. That was basically all the stories were. Don't disobey me. Or you'll die.
Could be accurate, yeah. I mean, because it's always the children that are in peril in these stories.
Although a spider, I don't know what the spider, I guess, is maybe danger.
It's a spider. It doesn't matter if it's dangerous or not. People are afraid of spiders. They're hairy. They have too many legs. They can appear out of nowhere.
There's no exploration at all in the tale exploring the idea of whether or not she should have shared her curds anyway.
There's no sharing involved. This is not Sesame Street. This is serious business.
That's true. Life or death. So they were telling people don't be afraid of spiders, which I would think would pretty much mean you couldn't do... Because I would imagine spiders are everywhere. I mean, spiders are everywhere now. They would have been everywhere even more back in the day.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, because their cleaning standards were probably a lot more lax than ours.
Well...
There's a lot of these things that have kind of faded in my memory over time. I don't know that we could tell any more Grimm's fairy tales. I know that there was the goose that laid the golden egg. There's another one, the Goose Girl. I know that that's the title of one.
The Goose Girl?
Yeah. I don't remember how that one goes, but I know that's the title of one of the stories.
Did she sell geese? Or was she
a
goose?
I think she was ugly. I think it's basically, if I remember right, it's kind of the story of the ugly duckling.
People from a certain time period were obsessed with poultry based upon this group.
Yeah.
It's like Mother Goose, Goose Girl,
Yeah.
Ugly Duckling,
Goose Girl sounds like a superhero with very dubious powers.
Is that even still a term? To goose?
To goose someone?
Yes, is it still a term?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
I have not seen it on television. And you see a lot on television.
I mean, it's an unwelcome touching, so I doubt that it would be used very frequently in television.
Well,
so
I suppose you're right.
Nobody wants to be
Is that
goose,
its definition?
Really. What?
So if it's welcome, it's not a goose.
I don't know. Can there be consensual goosing? I mean, because in theory, you would think a goose would have to be something that someone is not expecting.
Yes.
So you can't really consent to something that you're not expecting. Being unexpected is just, by definition, non-consensual.
Wow. Okay. So then goosing is no more.
I guess not.
Goosing is no more. All right.
Doesn't that make sense to you?
It does make sense to me. It does, although you could ask permission for an extended period to goose.
Sometime in the next week, I will be giving you a goose.
Well, no, you would have to ask permission. You would say,
would that be all right?
Would that be all right that sometime within the next week, at an indeterminate time of my choosing,
yes,
I will surprisingly touch your bottom?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Is that fine?
And then if they say yes, then you could choose a time when they were not anticipating
so, when they're not anticipating it, sure.
And then
all right, I can go with that. There can be consensual goosing.
It's a pretty deep topic, really.
It's really deep. Yeah.
It's
I think we've covered something today that has not been covered before. This is unique.
Yeah.
To the Two Men podcast.
Well, see, that's why you bring up a good point, because there used to be a term, goosing, and now it's not a term.
I mean, I never hear people talking about it, so I guess it's fallen out of favor.
But pinching, now people they pinch?
What?
Pinch.
I guess, yeah, sure.
Do they pinch? Pinching, tickling?
Tickling is, it depends on what kind of tickling is involved and where you're tickling, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be acceptable.
All right.
I would think.
I don't know.
I mean, not with strangers. I mean, you don't walk up to a stranger at a bus stop and just tickle them.
No. There are several reasons, though, why you wouldn't do that, because, A, you don't want to tickle somebody that you don't know is ticklish.
No, that might be a waste of your time.
That's right. And so you only want to tickle somebody you know is ticklish. That's really... so you have to pre-tickle.
So you have to test the waters.
Yeah, you have to test the waters. And then, so this goes back to our consensual goosing conversation, is you have to kind of test the tickle situation. And then later, at a time when you know that it's going to be effective, then you
can go for it.
You go full-on tickle. And then you've really made your play. But I don't think people are ticklish anymore.
You don't think they're ticklish anymore?
No, I don't think so. I think that's...
I just think you haven't tickled anybody in a while.
That's been bred out of us. We
Is that right? Through selective breeding, we've eliminated tickling.
That's right.
So what you're saying is
do
ticklish people don't get lucky with anybody, is what you're saying to me.
I would think by the time you get to the point of tickling somebody, you're already in the vicinity of lucky.
Yeah, okay.
Although,
sure.
I mean, I would be willing to bet
Mm-hmm.
that neither you nor I are ticklish with each other.
I don't know how to respond to this.
All right, so let's just start in a very mild. Tim, do I have permission?
I'm not comfortable with this situation. I need someone to come and rescue me from this situation. I'm feeling very deeply uncomfortable.
Friendship danger. Friendship danger.
The friendship alarm is going off.
All right. Do I have permission to touch your belly?
Sure. That's fine.
I mean, we're testing.
We're
testing.
This is for science.
That's right. This is for science.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to pick up my microphone, Phil. Don't have any kind of fit.
All right.
I'm going to walk over here.
All right.
Present my belly for tickling.
Now, just in full disclosure, Tim has his shirt on.
I do have my shirt on.
So this is going to hamper.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing.
You're getting nothing?
No.
Aroused.
Not even slightly. not even a little bit.
All right. Now, wait a minute. You're not going to ask to test back?
I'm okay.
I'm
good.
That's insulting.
I'm good.
That's insulting. I just touched your belly.
You did.
All right.
It's a one-way touch.
All right, I'll let you.
All right, fine. Come over here.
All right.
All right, come here.
You want to do my feet?
No. I do not want your feet.
I'm just giving.
I don't want anybody's feet.
I'm just
I don't
giving
care who you are. I don't want your feet.
I'm giving you another option.
I appreciate the option. I will pass.
Underarms? You want underarms? Underarms?
No, I'm good. I'll do the belly.
You
it's
just
fine.
do the belly.
I mean, you got to have an equal comparison.
All right, so I'm gonna lift.
Leave your shirt on.
Okay, but it's equal to. All right.
Okay, that's all right. Huh?
It's
anything?
I'm gonna give you an extended evaluation.
Yeah.
He stopped now. It was tingly. It was tingly. There was some physical sensation. It was almost like my body was trying to talk to me.
Well, that's special.
But it did not rise to laughter. It did not rise to laughter.
No.
And there was no arousal, so I'm with you there.
Yeah.
So I think we're safe with each other.
Probably.
I really do.
Mm.
I think that we could be locked in a cabin for months. we would be great cellmates.
Wow, this really took an odd turn. Sure. Probably be totally safe.
So if you were to write a fairy tale today, give me the opening line. Pitch me a fairy tale. All right, let's try. I think the young people, I think they call this rapping.
I don't think that's true at all. I think anything that you and I would do would never be construed as rapping.
Well, I'm just saying, this freestyling verse.
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll figure out words. All right.
We have all the best words.
All these rapper
so
guys
fine.
just do it off the top of their heads.
Yeah, I know. That's because they're talented at that, and we are not.
I'll start.
There's a deathly silence here. You can tell it's working.
Bob and Tony went into the store
to buy a duvet cover for their bed.
Jack shortly smothered.
That's a new character.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I mean,
no.
Jack could be the salesman.
Let me give Bob shortly smothered.
The spontaneity in their relationship.
All right. So we haven't got a rhyme in here. So Jack and
now
Joe
they're in counseling.
That's right.
The end. Modern fairy tale. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. Thank you, studio audience. You're beautiful. It's Instant Opinion with your pals, Tim.
And Phil.
Are you ready, Phil?
I am ready, and we don't have the timer ready as usual.
There it is.
Oh, and everyone, just continue clapping. Leave the applause sign on.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Clumsy ninjas.
Clumsy ninjas. I'm pro clumsy ninjas because I wouldn't stand a chance against a regular ninja. So ninjas that make noise, therefore, are better for me. I'm against clumsy ninjas because it denigrates the brand. That's right.
That's fair. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. I do not eat pumpkin pie, said Sam I Am. I don't like it. I hate pumpkin pie.
What?
I hate pumpkin pie. I am not going to say anything pro pumpkin pie other than it gets rid of pumpkins, which I'm also against. Although I'm also against pumpkin mutilation, which occurs at Halloween, all those poor pumpkins getting ripped into.
I don't know how I feel about you anymore now.
That's right.
That's a whole new side of you that I don't really care for.
I'm a pumpkin activist.
I guess so. Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs. That's a sports team. I know they haven't won in a long time. I know people are they're very excited about the possibility of them winning. They're in the World Series, right?
They are indeed.
All right, I got that right. And they're up against, as I understand them, the Tony Award-winning play Hamilton. I don't know which one will win.
I think they could probably take the cast of Hamilton.
Oh, well, I'm just rooting for Hamilton.
Good for you. My Left Foot.
My Left Foot. It's a movie with that actor in it. It also is an appendage on everyone unless you don't have a left foot, in which case you're unfortunate, or you're not unfortunate as an individual. It's just a sad reality or a circumstance. So I'm pro people having feet.
Magellan
doesn't get enough credit. Circumnavigated the globe.
The globe.
Hey, look, if you've been inside the globe lately, there's some funk in the globe. No,
it's that global warming.
Magellan was other than drowning, trying to kill the natives. He was
okay. Other than that,
he was okay. Yeah.
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI. I am Magnum PI. I don't think there's anything.
Right?
Tom Selleck and I are twins. We're twins. We're identical twins.
Everything but the mustache.
And we don't know it. And a lot of people don't know this about Tom Selleck. Like me, he's not ticklish. Not ticklish.
Interesting fact. Oreo cookies.
Oreo cookies. I favor them. I favor Oreo cookies. I like the fact that they're mixing themselves in diversity, and that's great. They're a pro or a con is that sometimes you get one without cream in it.
Are you one of those weirdos that takes them apart and licks the cream out?
No,
Oh,
that's absurd.
Those people.
Those people. First off, I don't want to see your tongue. Don't be showing me your tongue.
My niece does that. I told her she's absolutely wrong.
I might want to see your tongue, depending upon who you were. But in generally speaking, I don't want to see your tongue. No, I don't want to see it.
Third grade teachers.
I hated my third grade teacher, so
that's
that's gonna be bad. This makes me the evil person, but it's the story. It's like she died when I was in 8th grade, and I was actually glad.
Oh, that is so dark.
Well, in fairness, she was horribly evil and mean to me. It's no darker than the fairy tales that we've been telling.
No, I think it's a perfectly appropriate way to end the episode.
That's right. She got shoved in the oven. No, I hope she was. I'm sure her treatment of me was the exception, and she was a lovely lady. But she was mean to me, and I'm sorry that I was a child and was glad that she had died.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to an end of Instant Opinions. Thanks again for spending your time with us. Goodbye.
Bye. I really am very sorry that you passed. In hindsight. But as a child,
You can't take that back.
Oh.
Can't take that back.
I can't.
Greetings. I am Alice, highly paid digital assistant to the two moderately entertaining nerds of the Two Men podcast. Want to let us know what you thought of the show? Have a topic you'd like to hear discussed? Feel like demanding your money back? We'd love to hear from you on 2 out of those 3 questions. Drop us an email at twomencast@gmail.com. In the meantime, please rate us and leave a review on iTunes or your podcast service of choice. Also, for all discussions moderately entertaining, you can find us at facebook.com/2mencast. Please join us again next week when we'll be guaranteed to be funny. Or not.